Well, it's that time of the year again. I'm here with Marten from Marten Loudspeakers. And the reason why is because this room at this show with these Marten Parker Trio Diamond speakers at an MSRP of $39,995 USD have completely blown me away. First and foremost, I gotta say this. This is the first time I see this loudspeaker brand here at Axpona. Okay, and coming into the show, I heard about these speakers because someone told me, Jay, do you know they're gonna finally display? I'm like, really? First time I saw you guys was at Munich.
Yeah, okay. I remember.
Beautiful looking speakers. And so coming into the show, I was afraid of the performance not being great because the room is quite small. But I said, you know what? Let me have some open mind and flexibility to what I'm about to hear. And let me tell you, this is by far one of my top rooms here at Axpona, hands down. Those of you who know me, who talk to me, came up to me and gave me that same feedback about this speaker. Constellation Audio Electronics, the Taurus Monos, which I've had on my channel. Pictor 3 preamplifier. We got an R-Render 30, I believe is that, the 20.
It's the N20.
N20.
Yeah.
And let me say, if in case you were not here and you couldn't attend the show, what I heard was sheer clarity, depth. This window here doesn't exist. This wall behind is completely gone. Huge sound stage. All the instruments placed correctly. I could sit here and listen to this system for hours and hours, and I wanted to, but I had more rooms to cover.
Of course.
So I will say right now, man, you hit it out of the park here. This combo, Constellation, we know it's a system, so we got to give kudos to Constellation as well.
Absolutely.
The synergistic effects with these two brands is mind-boggling. Easily live with this system and call it a day because a lot of the characteristics that I hear at this price point exist at much more expensive propositions. And
of course,
I was completely taken aback by the performance. I told my Ultra Hi-Fi members last night that this was definitely one of my top picks. So
appreciate it.
Marten, it's been phenomenal, man. So I want you to tell people, first of all, I'm excited as you can see. Tell them what the speaker is about, if you can go in depth as far as like the options, because I know the speakers come with different options.
Of course.
Talk to my audience about the speaker. What's special about the speaker?
I would love to do that. I would just love to start mentioning a little bit about the company.
Yes, please.
It's a Swedish speaker manufacturer. This is our 26th year. Last year in Munich, we celebrated 25 years on the market with the amazing Mingus Septet that you were listening at that point. Completely different price point, of course. So all speakers manufactured in Sweden. We have our sister company called Jorma Design, which we use as internal cables in all of the speakers. And it's also its separate brand with cables and power distributors in that way. So the Parker series that we have here today, it sits squarely in the middle of our product range. We start with Oscar, we go on with Parker, then we have Mingus and Coltrane. Parker series comes with 3 different models. We have a stand mount called the Duo, we have the Trio, and we also have a Quintet. What is very important for us is, of course, to have a very nice visual appearance.
Absolutely.
That doesn't interfere in any way with sound quality. So let's start with the cabinets. As you can see, they have this sleek tapered form. They are wider in the back, they are narrower in the front. They are made of a material we call M-board. This is a multi-layer material and it's completely resonance-free in that way. Thickness, 35 millimeters all around in the cabinet.
Okay.
So very, very stiff, rigid. It becomes quite heavy speakers, of course, with very low resonance from the cabinet. So that is one part. Drivers, that is quite important in a speaker. So what we do is that we custom design. Our chief engineer, Leif Olofsson, that you met last year in Munich, he's quite good with what he's doing. We normally say that he's lucky sometimes, but I don't think it's luck.
You know what he said to me, so my clients, my subscribers might not know, is when I met him, he said to me he doesn't build a speaker if he doesn't like the way it looks.
That's
he
to begin with.
feels like the look of the speaker needs to be there, else he's not getting, he's not starting to design anything. And that was actually I was very impressed by that. Because every speaker I saw from the Marten loudspeaker lineup was astonishing. It's just a piece of art.
Thank you, thank you. He's very much into Scandinavian design, so less is more in that way. Going back to the drivers, we custom designed those. So in this one, we have a 7.5-inch ceramic driver. This one we use in the whole Parker range. So it's used in the duo, in the trio, and in the quintet. It has a very long linear excursion. It has a very strong neodymium magnet system. It is made of ceramic, moves very quick without breaking up, creating distortion in that way. That together in the diamond version, we are of course using a diamond tweeter.
Right.
Yeah. So that together with 2 passive 9-inch aluminum radiators in the back.
That's what, when I came into the room, one of the things I've noticed was I kept looking at the speakers, front of the speakers, but I kept hearing this depth, this ambient, these things that were happening behind. I'm like, came back around and I noticed that is what's adding this extra 3-dimensionality behind the system, and I loved it.
It helps with 3-dimensionality, absolutely, but the main reason for using this kind of construction, because of course it adds cost to the construction.
Sure.
But with controlling bass from 45 hertz down to 26, like these goes.
26 hertz, they go down to 26.
Yeah, exactly.
And they feel definitely like that.
You feel it.
They definitely do, yeah.
But also, when using this kind of construction, we can get these speakers to work in this kind of room.
Yeah, and this room is not a big room. I am going to say it's probably 10 feet wide by like 12, more or less. It's not a big room, but it's crazy how well they work in this room.
Yeah.
And the sound is everywhere. Height, it's got depth, width. It's really, really an impressive, very organized presentation where when I look at the size of the speaker and obviously the MSRP, for me, I was like, you know what? It just blew my mind. I wasn't expecting it because visually when I see it, it seems to be incapable of doing that until you turn it on.
Of course.
And you realize that diamond tweeter, by the way, that's magic.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so clean, it's so clear, articulate. It's got a lot of airiness to it. I'm very drawn to that type of sound. So,
of course.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let us be a little bit more in depth with the differences between diamond and normal version.
Please,
because
yes.
I think your listeners really would
Very
like
important.
to know what's the difference there. So when we have the normal version, it features a ceramic tweeter. We use Jorma duality line, which is the second in line of our cables.
Okay.
Still a plus and separated plus and minus to enhance shielding, of course. We use polypropylene capacitors from Mundorf on the crossover filters. And we use a very nice VBT speaker connection. But when going up to the diamond version, of course, we use the diamond tweeter. We change all the polypropylene capacitors to copper foil instead. And we use top-of-the-line Jorma statement cables. Normal US retail price for a 2-meter Jorma speaker cable is around 20,000 US. And we use those cables internally in these speakers.
Wow.
So of course, it adds a lot of value.
It does.
We also go up one step for the speaker connections from VBT. So that's the difference between the different speakers. If you go for the standard version, they have an MSRP of 25,000.
Wow, 15 grand less. So that's actually even attractive for those that want to have a lot of this performance, but they can't really fork out 40 grand.
Yeah.
They could do 25,000 and still have a quality performance.
Exactly.
It's important. It's really good to see all these offerings coming from European countries. I actually will say this and drop a hint. My next loudspeaker comes from Europe. I'm not going to say what it is, but do not be shocked if one of these speakers in the future happens to be from Marten Loudspeakers.
We would be happy for that, of course.
I'm just excited about this brand. There you have it. One of the best performances here at Axpona, one of my top rooms, and it is 100% Jay's Audio Lab approved. Please subscribe again, hit the like button, and we will keep doing this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.